This girl has done nothing for my boy but judge him and make his life miserable.
You Oprah Winfrey, you Tyler Perry. That motherfucker, I said it, say it with me. You Oprah Winfrey, you Tyler Perry, you motherfucker.
Then I got to call up. I said, oh my gosh, oh God, oh God. Okay, so then I had to call my people. I had to call my play mom. I had to call my family. And I like, look, you can't tell anybody this. First, I was like, when I got the call, I was just thinking about all of the work I had to get done.
Guys, Tyler Perry has done it again, dropping a new movie that has everyone buzzing, but not just for the reasons you might think. Sure, Divorce in the Black sounds juicy enough on its own, especially with its star-studded cast. We're talking Meagan Good and Cory Hardrict, who are dealing with their very recent, very public divorce in real life, now playing a divorced couple on screen. Talk about art imitating life, and if that wasn't enough, they threw in Richard Lawson, Tina Knowles' ex-husband, for an extra layer of, whoa, this is awkward intrigue. But hold up, because this is where it gets bad. Forget the on-screen drama, because the real drama is happening behind the scenes. It seems Tyler Perry may have stepped on some toes, and those toes belong to none other than the queen of speaking her mind, Monique.
But what to understand about me, I ain't for that Hollywood bull. If you cross the mother line Oprah, if you cross the mother line Tyler, I'm gonna see you mother.
You see, within the first 8 minutes of the film, a character pops up who apparently bears a striking resemblance to Monique. Now, we're not talking about a little coincidence here. We're talking full-on doppelganger, leading many to believe it was an intentional casting choice. And Monique, well, she ain't having it. She's taken to social media, calling out Tyler Perry for allegedly replacing her with a cheap look-alike. Is Monique onto something? Is Perry trying to pull a fast one? What's going on? Okay, so let's break all of this down real quick for you. First off, you've got Meagan Good and Cory Hardrict, who just went through a whole, very public divorce, playing a divorced couple. Like, are we talking method acting here? Is this therapy? Nobody knows, but we are here for it. And as if that wasn't enough to have everyone gossiping, they cast Richard Lawson, yes, Tina Knowles' ex-husband, Richard Lawson, in the movie too. Perry is really out here playing chess, not checkers, with these casting choices. But apparently, in the first 8 minutes of the movie, there's a character who looks a whole lot like Monique. Now, we all know Monique and Perry have some serious history, and let's just say, their relationship isn't exactly sunshine and rainbows. So, for her to seemingly pop up in his movie, well, let's just say people have questions. Oh, and listen, it's not just Monique who's raised an eyebrow at this mysterious character. Oh no, the fans are on it. Social media is blowing up with screenshots, side-by-side comparisons, and theories that would make Sherlock Holmes proud. Some folks are convinced it's a deliberate dig at Monique, while others are trying to figure out if Tyler Perry's playing some kind of 4D chess move here. Either way, the fans are hooked, and they're breaking down every frame of that movie like it's the Zapruder film. This is some next-level insanity, even for Tyler Perry. There was a tweet on X that said, "Why the lady at the church scene in Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black looked like Monique? Is it just me?" For those of you who haven't seen it yet, Richard Lawson's character, Pastor Clarence, is up in the pulpit giving a eulogy. You'd expect something heartfelt, right? A celebration of life? Not so fast. This is a Tyler Perry production after all. So you know we're about to take a sharp turn into Dramaville. Pastor Clarence throws out all pretense of a respectful eulogy and goes straight for the jugular. He starts spilling the tea about how Ms. Linda's son, the deceased, was no saint. Apparently, the young man had just gotten out of jail and was shot while trying to rob another member of the church. Can you imagine being Ms. Linda, played by the incredible Ursula O. Robinson, sitting in the front row and having to hear all of this? Now, Ms. Linda was having absolutely none of Pastor Clarence's disrespect. She let loose on him and his congregation, calling them out for their judgmental attitude, especially in such an inappropriate setting. Her anger was palpable, and rightfully so. As if his initial comments weren't bad enough, Pastor Clarence then decided to inform Ms. Linda that he and his family were paying for the funeral out of pity. This only served to further infuriate her. At this point, Ms. Linda reached her breaking point. She ripped off her hat, threw her dress at the pastor, and in a commanding voice yelled, "Y'all get the boy. No, not the casket. Take him out." It was a powerful moment of defiance as she reclaimed control of the situation and her son's memory. The scene was pure chaos. and the tension was palpable. One person wrote on X, "I'm not even 10 minutes into the film, but Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black has one of the craziest openings I have seen in one of his movies." Another added, "Watching Divorce in the Black. Clearly they wanted Monique for the role of old boy's mama. They went and found a doppelganger." All right, let's address the elephant in the room because things just got very real between Monique and Tyler Perry. We're talking about two powerhouses in the entertainment industry, both known for their immense talent and, let's be honest, their no-nonsense personalities. But this isn't some behind-the-scenes whisper campaign. Monique has taken her grievances public, and she's holding nothing back. She's accusing Tyler Perry of straight-up replacing her with a cheap look-alike for a project, and she's not mincing words about how she feels disrespected and undervalued. Now, we've all heard whispers about Hollywood politics and the egos that come with the territory, but Monique is putting it all on blast, raising questions about fairness, respect, and the value placed on experience and talent. This isn't just about one role. It's bigger than that. Monique is using her platform to shed light on what she perceives as a pattern of behavior, and it's sparking a much-needed conversation about how Black artists, particularly Black women in Hollywood, are treated. So, grab your teacups, folks, because we're dissecting this controversy, examining both sides and exploring the deeper implications of this very public feud. And Monique is clearly not holding back on this one. It's not just about the alleged look-alike in the movie. She's taking this as an opportunity to call out what she sees as a larger pattern of behavior from Tyler Perry. She's basically saying, hold up, this isn't just a one-time thing. This is how he operates. She's publicly claiming that Perry has a history of finding new talent, giving them a shot, and then, when they're no longer useful to him, he casts them aside. And she's putting it all out there, no filter, for everyone to see. But Monique isn't just calling out Perry, she's also sending a message to this new actress who seems to resemble her. It's like she's saying, hey, I've been where you are, and trust me, be careful, this industry can be brutal. And this guy? Well, let's just say you need to watch your back. Whether Monique's claims are true or not is a whole other conversation. But one thing's for sure, she's not afraid to speak her mind, and she's definitely not going down without a fight.
So no, I was not blackballed. I was whiteballed. By some black who had no balls. Thank you, Mr. Lee Daniels. Thank you, Mr. Tyler Perry.
And as if all of that wasn't enough, some fans are going full-on conspiracy theorist, speculating that Tyler Perry is playing a very calculated, very shady game here. They're saying this isn't just a random actress who happens to resemble Monique. Oh no, they believe this was a deliberate casting choice, designed to hurt Monique on two levels. First, the resemblance itself is a sting, like Perry saying, see, I can easily replace you. But then, there's the character's personality. She's being described as mean, bitter, and just plain unpleasant. And some fans are convinced that Perry is using this character to throw shade at Monique, basically painting her as a difficult, demanding diva. It's all speculation, of course, but you have to admit, it makes for a pretty juicy theory. Is Tyler Perry really that petty? We may never know for sure, but one thing's for certain, this whole situation just got a whole lot more interesting. One fan wrote, I'm convinced that Tyler Perry Divorce in the Black is a diss to Monique. If you really think about the evil mom, and way she acts is almost similar to Monique. Another added, something about this movie and character screams Monique, to me, as shade from Tyler Perry. Some people were even pissed at Perry. One viewer wrote, Tyler Perry thinks he's slick, got a Monique look-alike to give Monique vibes without actually paying for Monique. Just shady, especially given the animosity between them, wrote one of many fans who viewed Robinson as a Monique doppelganger. And slowly, as more people watch it, the comparisons to Monique's past roles are popping up everywhere, and fans are adding fuel to the fire. Dozens of people have pointed out the similarities between Ursula O. Robinson's character, Ms. Linda, and Monique's iconic role as the troubled mother in Precious. One fan commented, reminded me of Monique's character in Precious, and honestly, they're not wrong. Both characters are complex, flawed mothers dealing with incredibly difficult circumstances, and let's be real, Monique did win an Oscar for that role, so the bar is set pretty high. Others have chimed in, saying things like, Monique would have killed it, acknowledging Robinson's strong performance, but still wondering what Monique could have done with the role. And then there's this gem. You know Mo was on the mood board for this one. Basically, fans are convinced that Tyler Perry had Monique in mind when crafting this character, whether as inspiration or as a target for some subliminal shade. But hold on, because there's a whole contingent of fans who are looking at this situation and saying, Monique, honey, you might want to send Tyler Perry a thank you note. See, Tyler Perry, for all his success and accolades, doesn't exactly have a spotless reputation in Hollywood. There have been whispers for years about his on-set behavior, his treatment of actors, and his, shall we say, particular way of doing things. Some have even gone so far as to call him controlling and difficult to work with. So these fans are looking at this whole casting situation and saying, maybe this is a blessing in disguise for Monique. They're suggesting that she might have just dodged a major bullet by not being involved in this production. It's like they're saying, sure, it's a blow to the ego to be replaced, but trust us, you're better off steering clear of this whole mess. It's a whole new perspective on the drama, and it definitely adds another layer of complexity to the situation. One person wrote, Monique should be glad he didn't choose her for this role. They need to stop typecasting Monique. Perry is the king of typecasting. All he would have done is underutilize Monique's talents and had her playing the same types of roles instead of allowing her to show her versatility. And you know what? Those fans might have a point. Let's not forget that Monique herself has spoken out about feeling mistreated and undervalued by Perry in the past. She's been very vocal about her experiences, and those stories haven't exactly painted him in the most flattering light. So, yeah, maybe she dodged a bullet here. Maybe not being cast in this movie is a blessing in disguise. It's like dodging a toxic ex. You might still have feelings. There might still be hurt and resentment, but at the end of the day, you're better off moving on and finding happiness elsewhere. That being said, we totally get where Monique is coming from. It's hurtful to feel like you've been replaced, especially by someone who seems intentionally cast to resemble you. It's a blow to the ego, and it can bring up a lot of old wounds. So, while some might see this as a lucky escape for Monique, it's understandable why she's feeling hurt and angry.
Remember when I said earlier, I've never seen so many cowards and black men in this business? I would have to put my brother Tyler Perry in that. I got labeled as difficult, my husband and I, and my husband is Sydney, who happens to be my manager. We got labeled as difficult because I said one word, and that was no. Now, I said no to some very powerful people. I said no to Oprah Winfrey. I said no to Tyler Perry. I said no to Lee Daniels, and I said no to Lionsgate.
It's easy to imagine Tyler Perry sitting back, feeling pretty smug about this whole situation. Maybe he thinks he's playing 4D chess, getting a dig in at Monique while simultaneously generating buzz for his new movie. But here's the thing, even if this was all a calculated move on Perry's part, it might end up backfiring on him. See, the court of public opinion can be fickle, and Perry's reputation has already taken a few hits in recent years. Between the rumors about his on-set behavior and the criticisms of his writing and directing, some fans are starting to see him less as a beloved icon and more as, well, a bit out of touch.
When people that look like me, like Oprah, Tyler, Lee Daniels, and I gotta put my brother Steve on the list, y'all knew I was not wrong. Each one of you said to me, Monique, you're not wrong. And when I heard you go on the air and you said, my sister done burnt too many bridges, and there's nothing I can do for her now. Steve, do you know how hurt I was? Because what you did was malicious, and it was intentional, and it was ugly.
This whole Monique situation, whether intentional or not, just adds fuel to that fire. It feeds into the narrative that Perry is more interested in settling scores and throwing shade than in creating quality entertainment. And in the long run, that kind of behavior can tarnish even the shiniest reputation, and it has already begun. One person commented, "If this is the case, I'm going to stop watching what he produces. Enough is enough." Another added, "Tyler Perry always kinda gave me messy black auntie vibes, so that he did to Monique was just confirmation low." One person wrote, "One thing you could never say about Monique is she's a liar. If Monique said Tyler Perry and Oprah played with her career and money, then they played with her career and money. Monique's story has been consistent, and Taraji confirmed it without even knowing she did. For years, Tyler Perry could do no wrong. He was the king of his own empire, churning out hit after hit, and his fans ate it up. He was held on a pedestal, seen as a cinematic genius, a champion for black stories, and a Hollywood powerhouse. But as they say, the higher you climb, the harder you fall."
What is that black connected to? That black man? So no, I was not blackballed. I was whiteballed. By some black who had no balls. Thank you, Mr. Lee Daniels. Thank you, Mr. Tyler Perry. Thank you, Miss Oprah Winfrey. You are not paying me equally. You are not treating me fairly. So y'all can suck my if I had one.
Now, with each passing controversy, Each whisper of bad behavior and each questionable creative choice, that pedestal seems to be getting a little bit shorter. People are starting to see Tyler Perry's work through a different lens, one that's a little less forgiving and a lot more critical. The rose-colored glasses are coming off, and what was once praised as heartwarming and relatable is now being called out as formulaic, predictable, and frankly, not very good. It seems the more we learn about Tyler Perry, the man, the less impressed we are with Perry, the filmmaker. And believe me, the reviews are terrible. Tissy on X wrote, "Oh my God, I'm watching Divorce in the Black and I'm stunned. This movie is one of his worst things he's ever done." One person said, "Watching Divorce in the Black is wild because I didn't know Cory Hardrict was this bad of an actor. And this script is terrible." And let's address the elephant in the room, shall we? One of the biggest criticisms leveled at Tyler Perry, and one that's particularly relevant in this case, is his portrayal of black women. While he's often praised for showcasing black stories, many fans have grown increasingly uncomfortable with the types of stories he chooses to tell, particularly when it comes to black women. There's a sense that Perry has a bit of a suffering Olympics going on in his films, with black women often relegated to roles that involve trauma, abuse, and overcoming incredible odds. And while those stories are undoubtedly valid and important, the constant barrage of pain and struggle can feel, well, a bit exploitative. This latest controversy only adds fuel to that fire. The image of a black mother being publicly humiliated at her own child's funeral, forced to confront his criminal past in front of a judgmental congregation, just hits a little too close to home for some viewers. It feels less like authentic storytelling and more like Perry exploiting black pain for dramatic effect. And frankly, fans are starting to demand better. There was an exchange on X that went something like this. So, it's not just Monique harping on and on about him. Now even the fans are catching up. And honestly, we don't blame the fans. After everything that he did to Monique, he deserves this online hate. Now let's rewind for a second and talk about Precious, because that's where this whole Tyler Perry and Monique saga really kicked off. The movie, based on the heartbreaking true story of a young black girl facing unimaginable abuse, was a critical darling back in 2009. Monique, in a career-defining performance as the abusive mother, Mary Lee Johnston, earned rave reviews and a slew of awards, including both a Golden Globe and an Oscar. But behind the scenes, things weren't so glamorous. Even before the award season rolled around, there was drama brewing between Monique and the film's producers, including Oprah Winfrey, Lee Daniels, and yes, Tyler Perry. The issue? Money, of course. Monique was asked to attend the Cannes Film Festival to promote Precious, but she wouldn't be paid for her appearance, as it wasn't stipulated in her original contract. Now, Cannes is a big deal, a chance to rub shoulders with the who's who of Hollywood, but it's also a work trip, and Monique, rightfully so, expected to be compensated for her time and effort. Her refusal to attend for free caused a rift, and many believe it was the beginning of the end for her relationship with Perry and the others.
Tyler Perry and I had a conversation at the Hoodie Award. At the time, it was called the Hoodie Award, when they were trying to get me to go do all of this press internationally.
And for those that don't know, who put on that Hoodie Award?
Steve Harvey put on the Hoodie Awards in Vegas, right? So it just makes me smile the way this whole scene went down. So I'm beckoned to go into Tyler Perry's dressing room, right? I'm beckoned. So I go into Tyler Perry's dressing room, and there are about maybe 25 people on Tyler Perry's team. And he does this.
Like that. Okay.
And everyone leaves. Well, I have my security with me. And I looked at my security and like, you don't work for Tyler Perry. So my security stayed in the room. So Tyler Perry says to me, listen, you may really want to consider promoting this film, because if you get nominated for an Oscar award, your next film is $3 to $5 million. And if you win it, your next film is $6 to $8 million. I said, Tyler, who you talking to? I'm a black woman. Where do they pay those type of salaries, brother? I said, what I cannot do, Tyler, is work for free. I've done what I was supposed to do. I cannot go overseas and do this for free, Tyler. So then he goes on about his spiel, you know. I said, well, listen, you can write me the check for me to go overseas. I don't care where the money comes from, but I'm not gonna do it for free. He says, well, I don't believe in giving money away for free. I said, I don't believe in working for free, so we're on the same page.
Fans also agreed with her stance. One person wrote, "Yep, I agree with Monique. Tyler lets Meagan and Harry fly to the Bahamas on his jet, most likely for free and elsewhere, but cannot pay Monique to go to Cannes for the film festival to promote Precious. Don't like Tyler, don't like Oprah. I refuse to watch anything they do now." Monique didn't mince words when explaining her decision to THR, stating, "I said, Oprah, I'm doing a talk show. I'm doing a comedy tour. I have a husband and I have babies. I have a little bit of downtime and I'm going to take advantage of it. So I'm not going anywhere because I'm not obligated to go anywhere. I've done my part. She was working, she was a wife and mother, and she deserved a break."
So when I get Whoopi Goldberg on the flip saying, them little ones coming behind you, you better give a damn about you. That crushed me that day, that you've been there for 10 years and you accept them paying you that, and you telling me, don't worry about the little one coming up. God damn if I ain't gotta be worried about you too, because you accept that salary, it makes it hard.
So when they wanted you to come, and we've had this conversation, and I said if you had called me, I could have schooled you on what was expected.
So for 8 years, my family has suffered and my career has suffered because what I would not allow those entities to do was bully me. And because I didn't allow the bullying to happen, this is now what I sit in.
But her refusal to play the Hollywood game, to bend over backward for free, came with a hefty price. Monique claims that she was swiftly labeled difficult and uncooperative, and effectively blackballed from the industry she worked so hard to break into. To this day, Monique maintains that she was wronged and demands a public apology from both Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry. She alleges that they played a significant role in perpetuating the narrative that painted her as difficult, ultimately damaging her career and reputation. While Lee Daniels, the director of Precious, has reportedly apologized to Monique for his part in the situation, Oprah and Tyler have remained silent, further fueling Monique's frustration and calls for accountability. The Oprah situation took an even uglier turn when, according to Monique, the talk show host invited the comedian's family onto her show to discuss the abuse Monique herself had suffered during her childhood. This, without Monique's knowledge or consent, felt like a betrayal, a public airing of her personal trauma for the sake of ratings. As for Tyler Perry, well, he initially seemed open to mending fences. In a 2022 interview with T.S. Madison, Monique revealed that Perry had agreed to meet with her, acknowledge his role in spreading negative narratives about her, and even issue a public apology. However, according to Monique, Perry ultimately went back on his word, leaving her feeling betrayed and disrespected yet again. Adding insult to injury, Monique claims to have an audio recording of their conversation that supports her account of Perry's promises, and ever since then, she's been trying to prove that he isn't as innocent as he seems. Monique didn't hold back when she sat down with Shannon Sharpe for a nearly 3-hour tell-all on his Club Shay Shay podcast. This wasn't just a casual chat. This was Monique coming with receipts. She addressed the long-standing rumors about her being difficult, the whispers that have dogged her career for over a decade, and she pointed the finger directly at Perry. The bombshell? Monique revealed that she had secretly recorded a phone call with Perry, a call in which he allegedly admits to spreading the difficult narrative about her after the Precious debacle. Sharpe himself confirmed that he had listened to the recording prior to the interview, adding weight to Monique's claims. But it wasn't just about clearing her name. Monique went on to detail the very real, very costly consequences of these rumors. She alleges that she lost out on millions of dollars in potential earnings, including a role on the hit show Empire and a handshake deal with Kevin Hart to revive her talk show, The Monique Show. According to Monique, Hart's manager Dave Becky stepped in and shut down the deal, allegedly stating, "Kevin doesn't want anything to do with Monique, all because Perry was behind all of this. And Perry isn't doing any of this alone. He's got big moguls like Oprah and Tiffany Haddish apparently helping him in blackballing her." Monique didn't stop at Tyler Perry. She went on to call out other powerful figures in the entertainment industry, including Oprah Winfrey and fellow comedian Tiffany Haddish. Her issue with Oprah stems back to the Precious controversy. According to Monique, Oprah was privately supportive of her decision not to do free press for the film, but refused to back her publicly. To make matters worse, Monique claims that Oprah then produced an episode of her talk show about the abuse Monique suffered at the hands of her brother, even interviewing Monique's parents without her consent. This, for Monique, felt like a betrayal, a public exploitation of her personal trauma. As for Tiffany Haddish, Monique took issue with a 2018 GQ interview in which Haddish seemingly criticized Monique's business practices and expressed relief that she didn't have a husband and manager like Monique's. Monique didn't hold back, telling Sharp, "Tiffany, if you had a husband like mine, you may not have 2 DUIs. If you had a husband like mine, you may not be caught up in what looks like you could have been grooming a child." It was a harsh rebuke, highlighting the double standards often faced by black women in Hollywood and the complicated dynamics of success and support within the black community. Plus, he's also mixed with horrible things in the industry, and Mo talked about that too.
I would have to put my brother Tyler Perry in that. And I'm gonna tell you why I say that. See, when I see you do a clip and you go to TD Jakes' church, and I watch you write a check for $1 million in front of the congregation, and you give it to this man, was that for the congregation to give more money? Or was that really genuine? See, when no one's watching, who are you? To when everyone's watching. And we got a chance to see him when no one was watching. See, your listeners will hear that audio when he makes statements like, and I gotta bring this up, Daddy, because it's a part of it and you understand the devalue of black women. Recently, I saw a quote that my sister Taraji put out there and said, Tyler Perry was the first person to pay me my quote. And that's a black man. Well, he says, I'm the first person to pay Taraji P. Henson the most money she's ever made. And then we said, but did you pay her fairly? And then he said, I paid her more than she's ever made. What does that mean, brother? When you go and buy Tiffany Haddish a car, see, if we remember the movie Cadillac Records, I'll keep buying you a car, but I won't give you what you're worth. So.
Because if I give you what you're worth, you can buy your own car.
I don't need you to buy no car. I don't need you to pay for me to go on no vacation. Just give me what my resume says I'm supposed to get. So when you ask me how does it feel to not hear him come out?
So what do you think? Did Perry really replace Monique by bringing on a doppelganger? Let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on any new videos. And until then, fam, keep it real.